Welcome to one of Santa's satellite workshops. No, I'm not Santa, and you won't find any of Santa's elves building any toys here. They still work at the North Pole under Santa's close supervision. I'm one of his satellite operations, and this is where I do my work on my little special Christmas presents to you, such as the one I'm working on today. The DVD you're going to see is based on a true story. Christmas at the Cottage tells the story of a young brother and sister who spent Christmas Eve at their grandmother's cottage in the Muskokas. Told in the style of the timeless classic "Twas the Night Before Christmas" by Clement C. Christmas at the Cottage is a semi-autobiographical account of a young Mike Ange Young. The illustrations used in this movie are from the private collection of Mike Young, as were drawn by his sister Ange. They were photocopied in black and white and then painstakingly colorized by Mike and Ange's father, Jim. That would be me. I also narrate the story, and along the way I add some little insight into Mike and Ange with some little comments. If you enjoy this type of quality entertainment and would like to see it continue, please support us by sending money to Mike, Ange, or myself. Now sit back and enjoy Christmas at the Cottage, an original Madrugada Pictures presentation brought to you by doginaroot.com and Molson's Beer. I hope you enjoy it. Christmas at the Cottage. Christmas at the Cottage is written by Mike and Ange Young. It's illustrated by Ange Young and told to you today by Jim Young. "'Twas your night before Christmas, and all through the cottage, just about every creature was stirring except for Mike and Ange. The stockings were hung by the window with care that were made by Jessie and the Pookie Bear. There were no children nestled in the bed, so Mike had visions of Diana in his head. Now, I don't think this was his cousin Diane, and it was before Amy. Mike in his boxers, but Ange had a cap, had just settled under those goddamn warm electric blankets. They're so nice. When out in the rock, we heard a loud noise. Mike sprang from his bed to see what was up and said, 'Fuck that, it's too frosty.' And there's Mike sitting up in his bed saying, 'Fuck that, it's too frosty.' Mike threw on his sheepskin to warm up his tush, then yelled at Ange and gave her a push. And there's Ange going, 'What the?' Because that's how you feel when somebody just wakes you up in the middle of the night. There was no full moon on the black lake below because the sky was cloudy and the lake was covered with snow. That's looking across the lake from the cottage at the old Lewis cottage. When what to our wondering eyes should appear but a big-ass sled and 8 big-ass reindeer. With a big old driver, not lively or quick. I thought it was Dad, but nah, it was St. Nick. And there's Mike and Ange thinking, is it Dad or is it Santa? Slower than turtles, his coursers they came. Half these damn reindeer looked like they were lame. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the hill, to the top of the rock. Get a move on, you lazy bastards. As dry needles from our Charlie Brown tree fell, and the paper decorations, but, well, that's another story to tell. Anyways, through the island and across the dock, He came up the hill and over the rock, and then a thump I heard up top. His foot, of course, getting out of his sleigh. As we drew on the wall our new record of height, he came down the chimney and burned his ass. He was dressed in some clothes, cannot tell which, 'cause he was set up on flames, the poor son of a bitch. And there you can see Mike and Ange, they're measuring themselves on the wall to see if they're taller than their cousins yet. A bundle of ash he flung on the floor. He looked quite pissed as he headed for the door. His eyes didn't twinkle, his dimples weren't merry, his cheeks weren't like roses, but his nose was burnt like a cherry. His bottom lip was hung down below, the beard on his face was as... Wait a minute, what beard? It was singed. The stump of Gramps' pipe he clutched in his hand. Mike yelled, "Give it back, you thief!" It was quite a demand. He had a square head and a big round belly that shook when he laughed like Dad's big fat belly. He was pissed and stumped, as confused as a drunk, and he smelt really bad, like the butt of a skunk. Whoa. A pick of his nose, a scratch of ear, still left me to know I had something to fear. He soon forgave us and went back to his work, did his Christmas crap, that big old jerk. Then laying a finger on his nose, shook our hands, through the door he goes. He climbed up the ladder and onto the roof. He jumped on the sleigh and gave it a hoof. Later, Bader. Ciao. I heard him complain as he raced out of sight. Merry Christmas to all, and a warm cup of shut the hell up. The end. We hope you enjoyed this story tonight. And if you did, please send money to Mike, Ange, and Jim. Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4! Rocking around